Welcome to another Technology Paul video. Glad to have you back. Today we're going to be doing a review of Xbox Game Pass. But here's the thing, I don't have an Xbox. Okay, well, as many of you know, you don't actually need an Xbox because there's a PC version of the Game Pass service. But let's rewind a bit here because viewers of my previous videos might know that I've traditionally been a console gamer, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, that kind of thing. But guess what? I got a PC. So it's time to dive into the world of PC games. I've done game service reviews in the past as well. I've looked at Nintendo Switch Online, PlayStation Plus, and even Apple Arcade as part of the Apple One subscription. Let's take a look at Xbox Game Pass and see if it's worth it. Alright, so when it comes to Xbox Game Pass, there's 3 different plans available. These prices are in Canadian dollars, by the way, because that's where I'm recording from. Now, as you can imagine, it's called Xbox Game Pass. So yeah, you can get it on the Xbox. And if you only want it on the console, it will cost you $11.99 per month. You get a wide selection of console games, and you get Xbox Game Studios titles the same day they're released. So if you're someone who would normally want to get new games on day one, it's already worth the $11.99 because new games usually cost around $80. Now, you don't get to keep the games as if you bought them, but you can download them and you can play them as much and for as long as you want, as long as you have the Game Pass subscription. And that's the same for all the plans available as part of the Xbox Game Pass. If you don't have an Xbox, but you do have a computer, you can try out PC Game Pass for the same price, $11.99 per month. This makes a ton of sense for Microsoft to offer. So many of the Xbox games are also available on PC and vice versa. I looked into it and there's about 477 console games on Game Pass versus about 459 PC games. So there's a lot of overlap in the library between PC and Xbox Game Pass. As a bit of a litmus test, I looked up the best games on Game Pass. Polygon has a list of the 30 best, of which 25 and 26 are available on console and PC respectively. So to me, that means that you're not really missing out on much if you get the Game Pass but you don't have an Xbox. One interesting note about the PC version is that it includes EA Play, which is actually another subscription service from EA that typically costs, I think, $5 or $6 a month by itself. Then if you want the full meal deal, you can go to the Ultimate plan, which gives you access to Game Pass on PC, Xbox, and even on the cloud, which allows you to play a smaller selection of available games through the browser on your mobile device. This version also includes EA Play as well as Xbox Live Gold, which is Xbox's multiplayer online service, which, like PS Plus, also gives you a couple of free games per month. The version I have is PC Game Pass. I didn't opt for the Ultimate at this time. It doesn't make a ton of sense for me, especially since I don't have an Xbox. Now, I could try cloud gaming, but I have gotten enough to explore on the PC as it is for now. Plus, I've heard that, there is cloud gaming, but it's still in beta and it's a bit clunky at the moment. So just be wary of that if you're going to look into it. That said, probably the best deal altogether is a program called Xbox All Access. This program essentially bundles the hardware and the software together in one subscription. You can get the Xbox Series S with Game Pass Ultimate for $29.99 per month, or you can opt for the Xbox Series X with Game Pass Ultimate for $39.99 per month. Going with Xbox All Access technically saves you about $60 over the course of 2 years over purchasing the console and the service separately. But is the service itself worth the money at $11.99 or $16.99 a month? Well, that entirely depends on how many games you're wanting to play. I did a random sampling of price collecting. If you bought and played, say, 12 games a year, you'd spend around $540. Well, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is about $203 a year, which is $336 less. Of course, you don't get to keep the games, but the price is absolutely way better. What about the quality of the games? Well, in my short time with Game Pass, I've played a few that I think make it worth it. I've always been a fan of Cities Skylines. It's a city building simulator where you design, build, and manage a city. And I love the peaceful style gameplay that still keeps you engaged as the needs of your citizens continually evolve and change. It gives you a real sense of satisfaction watching the city grow before your eyes. It's a challenging game, but it doesn't get the heart rate up, which makes for a nice casual experience. A game that my kid and I enjoy is Minecraft. Naturally, we've played the console version, but wanted to give it a try on PC too. The Java edition has been interesting to play as it's been a familiar experience to the console Bedrock edition, but still slightly different in the mechanics and visuals. Then there's Minecraft Dungeons, which is a top-down dungeon crawler which pits you against the classic Minecraft villains like skeletons, zombies, and of course, creepers. Then we tried out Disney's Dreamlight Valley, and I have to say this is one of the major benefits of Game Pass. The standard version of the game runs for about $31, which is fairly cheap, but I still wouldn't spend that kind of money on a game I don't know much about. Well, because we have Game Pass, my son and I can play it for free. And in doing so, we were pleasantly surprised. The game is a hybrid between a life sim and an adventure game. Your character must complete quests and explore new areas, and in doing so can unlock new clothing, new household furnishings, and so on. It's definitely a game that is geared towards kids, but even adults can have an enjoyable experience. My favorite game I've played on the service so far, though, has to be Age of Empires 4. I've always wanted to play Age of Empires, but I've never owned it. I figured I'd try it out since it's included in Game Pass. For those not familiar with it, Age of Empires is a real-time strategy game that essentially is about military conquest, using the civilizations of the past as the inspiration. You can literally fight through real historical battles and sort of relive those moments in history, or you can chart your own course. I personally like the skirmish mode, which is a multiplayer mode or single player versus AI mode, which pits your settlement up against competing settlements with strategic imperatives that can get you to victory. I had way too much fun with this game. And this is just a few of the games. Not everyone will be into the games that I decided to play, but you might be interested in many of the other games on the service like Guardians of the Galaxy, Assassin's Creed, The Outer Worlds, Grounded, Jedi Fallen Order, Hitman, Mass Effect, Deathloop, Doom Eternal, Psychonauts 2, Persona 5, Norco, Cuphead, Return to Monkey Island, Forza Horizon 4, Halo Infinite, Sea of Thieves, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Mortal Kombat 11, The Elder Scrolls, New Super Lucky's Tale, and No Man's Sky. So there's kind of something here for everyone, right? I think the question is, are you going to play several games or just a few? If you're a gamer who plays a couple or a few games and you don't venture beyond those, then this really isn't for you. You might buy a new game once a year that you've been anticipating, and yeah, maybe that game will be available on Xbox Game Pass, but in the end, it's still cheaper just to buy the game. If you like to play a lot of different games, then yeah, Xbox Game Pass is totally worth it. I've already spoken about the potentially hundreds of dollars of savings, and that's not to mention the ability to just try out a bunch of games and see which ones you like. The magic of discovery is alive and well with Game Pass. You have nothing to lose except a little time when you play a game you're not totally sure about, and sometimes you can be surprised and delighted. Anyways, that's my thoughts on Xbox PC Game Pass. What do you think? Do you have Game Pass, and what makes it worth it or not worth it for you? I'd love to know what games you think are best too. Let me know in the comments. And if you found the video interesting or helpful, do me a favor and click that like button. It also helps other people who might be looking for info on Xbox Game Pass. And if you like subscription service reviews or other tech stuff, subscribe for more content all the time. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next one.